What's up, YouTube? This is some dude back again with Lego Harry Potter. In the last episode, we had started Year 7 Part 1, dominated the 7 Harrys, moving on now to Magic is Might. And, kind of got my story cut off at the end of the last one. I was kind of telling you about this girl that I had started dating and hooking up with, and how that was going. And it's going okay. Like, we don't actually have a lot in common, so I don't understand really why she's into me or anything, but I haven't really been questioning it. I've just been kind of going with it because it's just better than the alternative. It's like, and she is cool. I don't want it to sound like she's annoying or anything. It's just we don't like the same music, we don't like the same movies, we don't like anything like that. So it's kind of weird, and we do work together, and we've been totally keeping it a secret, which is actually kind of a fun little game. Like, I've dated people I worked with before, and it's always more fun to, like, not tell people, because then it's kind of just a little game that you have with each other. But that kind of got blown open the other night. We went to these things called the Cold Smoke Awards, which are, oh, nice. Which is like this local award show. Well, it's not even an award show. Local showing of like all these ski and snowboard movies. And this girl we work with went there too, and we knew that going in, but when we got there, she wasn't there yet. So we'd kind of decided that maybe she had found something else to do, and so we were like sitting together, and then this girl like comes up from behind us like out of nowhere, and it was like, oh shit, like we just got busted. And so that was lame. So now there's one girl that we work with that knows that we're dating, and she said that she'd keep it quiet, which I hope she does, because I don't like my business to be public knowledge, you know? It's kind of just always how I've handled my affairs and whatever, but yeah, so hopefully that'll work out. But I mean, even though we don't have anything in common, this girl is pretty cool. Like, she drinks a lot, and I don't want that to sound weird, like, oh, she drinks a lot. She just likes to go out. She likes to have drinks even if she's not gonna get drunk. And even though she does that a lot, like, I don't know what your experience is with girls, but mine is that as soon as you start introducing booze and like other girls and your friends in, it usually ends up being dramatic, and I can't fucking stand that. Like, I can't tell you how many girls I've been with that when they get drunk, they just turn into like the most annoying creatures ever. And so I had actually gotten to a point where I had kind of avoided drinking with girls that had been seeing, and just to avoid those problems. But this chick knows how to handle her booze. Like, she's not dramatic at all. She's not jealous at all, and it's kind of refreshing, actually. Like, that's definitely like the most desirable thing about her at this point. And where is this fucking blue thing? There's no way it's in this area, right? I'm gonna go with it. Oh, he still has it. a violin. Okay. I do not remember this level at all. Oh, speaking of dramatic girls that cannot handle their booze. I was out playing pool with a buddy a couple weeks ago, and it was me and him, and that was awesome because he's pretty good, so we were having pretty competitive games, and that's always much more fun than just stomping people. But at one point, this other guy shows up, and oh sweet, there is the blue one. He brings his girlfriend, who I'd met one time before, and we start playing doubles, and it was at that point it became obvious that this fucking chick doesn't know how to play pool. She doesn't know the rules, and you know what? It's fine if you aren't good at pool. I'll play with you. It's fine, but you have to at least know the fucking rules, for Christ's sake. This chick was just blasting the 8-ball in, and then doing like a little victory dance, like it was a good thing. And it was like, wow, glad I spent $1 on that fucking game. This chick was so dumb, and it was so obvious that her and her boyfriend should not even be in the same room together, nonetheless dating. And if you haven't experienced this, it's so painful. Like, the waitress came over, asked us if we wanted drinks. He's like, I want a scotch and ice. And she ordered a beer or something. And then the waitress goes, and his girl is like, wait, what did you order? And he's like, I don't remember. And she was like, well, if you order anything other than beer, you owe me some fucking money. And it was just like, Jesus. Like, what? Like, that's how your relationship is? Like, if you didn't order a beer, you owe me fucking money? And it was sick. But it all comes down to that guy being a bitch about it. Like, here's the thing. Here's a little relationship advice. As cool as it is to be together, you always have to be apart. Like, there's no benefit in being together all the time. If that's all you have, then how did you meet each other in the first place, is my thing. So if he was saying, oh, I'm going to go shoot some pool with my buddies, because he was actually decent at pool, I wouldn't have minded him playing at all. But him bringing along his dumbass girlfriend and just ruining our whole night of games by trying to appease her was just totally selfish on his behalf and a bitch move, because you should be able to say to someone you're dating, like, you don't play pool, so there's no reason for you to come play pool with me. But just the general attitude that they had towards each other, you know that if he was to say that, it would turn into a nightmarish fight. And that is so sad to see. I've been in relationships like that, and you just feel stuck. It's so gross. Like, but you know, I guess that's all you. If that's all you got, that's all you got. But I mean, you just need to handle your chick. You know, like it's embarrassing to run into people like that don't know, that are just so stuck with someone that they're unhappy with, but don't have the balls to do anything about it. And they actually did end up fighting that night. They fought. At one point, they walked off somewhere. Oh, double. Is that the student in peril too? And then started coming back to the table, like, one at a time. And then at one point, he just kind of disappeared, and then the chick was still there. But we honestly didn't care enough to ask, like, oh, did he leave you or anything? we were just glad that they had stopped playing pool. And it's just sad to see, man. Should always like, as much as it sucks to like be alone, and it does suck, like, or even if you're not alone, to like change partners, because that sucks too. Like, getting to know someone else is always much more uncomfortable than staying with what you got. People like that just need to realize that no good is going to come from it and move on. And one of my buddies actually just recently did do this. He's the same friend who just recently moved out of town, and he had a girlfriend for like 1, maybe 2 years before they moved, and it's creeping me out. I thought someone was in my apartment. My upstairs neighbors are walking around. They had been reaching that point where they like just talked to each other like shit and never wanted to hang out with each other. Like, and it's hard to watch. And he got a job, like, he graduated computer science, and he got a job like a week out of college because he's a pretty smart guy. And it's a high-paying job. He's renting a house at the place he was moving. Like, everything was looking really good for him. And he decides to like take this chick with her, or take this chick with him rather. And you know, I'd had so many talks with him previously about like I mean, he had come to me and asked me like, how do you know when you should break up with a girl? And my only answer to that is always to just keep a tally for like a month. Like, at the end of the day, if you had a positive day, give your relationship a +1. And if you had a negative day, give your relationship a -1. And if at the end of the fucking month you're in the negative, you should probably break it off. Because if you're having more negative days than you are positive days, then you don't belong together. And so I'd had those talks with him before. And then when it comes up that, you know, they're moving to Billings together and they're going to get a house together and, you know, all this stuff, like, me and some other friends of ours, like, legitimately have, you know, a talk with him, like, hey, are you sure that you want to take her with you, you know? And he's like, oh yeah, we've been doing really good. We're doing a lot better. We've been treating each other a lot better. And, you know, lo and behold, they were there for maybe a week, and they had some catastrophically disastrous breakup where she claims that he punched her in the stomach. I don't believe that for a second, because he's not a violent guy, and she's kind of a dumb bitch. And supposedly a door got slammed to the point where a hinge broke off or something. And if you don't know anything about renting apartments, it's kind of a no-no. So they actually evicted him. He was gonna stay living there, but they evicted him and turned into a whole thing. But at least, and supposedly, when the apartment complex, or rental agency I should say, was checking him out, they couldn't even find the damage on the door. So that was also something that was probably fabricated by her. And I guess there's a restraining order on that. It's turned into a whole fucking thing. But the main point of what I'm telling you is that he's done with his dumb chick. And all it took to reach that point is for him to realize that he was in total control of everything in that relationship. She contributed nothing. Like, he had everything to offer and everything to lose by being with her. Like, he made the money, he fucking had the smarts, he had the sensibility, like everything. And she had none of that. She was just a parasite on him. he's a lot better off, and now he realizes that, and you know, so I guess that's the good thing at the end of that story. But we were all really happy to see that he finally fucking got rid of her dumbass. But, and sometimes that's what you gotta do. You gotta wake yourself up and do something that is beneficial for you, because you always gotta look out for number one. And that's not the same as saying that you always need to be selfish, because being selfish is valuing like yourself above what you actually need, while not valuing the people around you. While looking out for yourself is just agreeing to never compromise to make yourself more unhappy, just so other people can be happier. And that's what he did, and that's how I'm gonna end this episode. Let's see. Hopefully there was some like shred of advice in there that you can use. All the characters, Student in Peril, all the crests, True Wizard, doing this pretty well. That was Magic is Might. If you like the video, feel free to leave a rating. If you want to see more from me, some dude, think about subscribing. Excuse me, burped. But that was Magic is Might. Thank you for watching. Maybe I'll see you next time. Later, dudes.